Today, I want to talk about a tension familiar to anyone working at the intersection of science and communication, making something visible while keeping it honest. Anoplotherium. 2 centuries separate these images. The fossil evidence underlying both is essentially the same. What changed is our capacity to produce images that feel conclusive. Cuvier's sketch is honest about what it is, a working hypothesis. The AI image is photorealistic. It looks like a photograph of something that existed. That shift is the challenge I want to address today. Fossils are fragmentary. Ancient environments are invisible, and the reasoning that connects physical evidence to visual reconstruction is often opaque to non-specialist audiences. So the question I've been working on is this: is a given digital output a record, a representation, or a hypothesis? This is not a rhetorical question. It has direct consequences for how we label, document, and communicate what we produce. To answer it, I propose a 4-paradigm epistemological framework. Paradigms 1 plus 2. The first 2 paradigms occupy the more empirically grounded end of the spectrum. Paradigm 1, empirical, photogrammetry. The output is a metrically valid model derived from direct measurement. Uncertainty is quantifiable. The statement it makes is, "I measured the real." Paradigm 2, neural scene representation, NeRF and Gaussian splatting. These methods produce high-fidelity renderings, but they reconstruct scenes through interpolation. Metric provenance is difficult to trace. The output is still anchored in physical capture, but it is no longer a direct measurement. The epistemological status shifts from record to representation. 5. Paradigms 3 plus 4. Paradigm 3. Generative AI. Tools like Gemini 3 Pro image synthesize from learned statistical distributions. They are not constrained by physical evidence unless we impose those constraints explicitly. The output is a hypothesis, sometimes a convincing one, but not a record. Paradigm 4, hybrid. This is where most applied workflows now sit. The example here is TripoSR applied to a Cariocecus illustration, a 2D paleoartistic input processed through a generative 3D reconstruction model. The output combines paradigms, and that combination requires explicit documentation. 6. My case study is Cariocecus bocagei, a basal hadrosauroid from the Lower Cretaceous of Portugal, described by Bertozzo and colleagues in 2025. The key methodological contribution is what I call a scientific JSON, constrained prompt, a structured document that maps each visual element of a reconstruction to its evidence tier before any generative tool is invoked. The tiers range from Tier 1, direct fossil evidence, a record, through Tier 3, the extant phylogenetic bracket, a representation, to Tier 5, informed speculation, a hypothesis. Skeletal proportions, directly from the specimen. Scaly integument, phylogenetic comparative evidence from hadrosaurid skin impressions. Lip morphology, inferred from crown birds and crocodilians. Coloration, speculative, constrained to plausible ornithopod ranges. Every element is traceable. The AI output is constrained before generation, not audited after. 7. Workflow, frames. Starting from Carvalho's original scientific illustration, we use Gemini 3 Pro image to generate a JSON-constrained 3x3 storyboard, 9 keyframes covering multiple camera angles and distances, maintaining character consistency and environmental coherence derived from sedimentological data. 8. AI video generation workflow. The keyframes then enter phase 2, video synthesis via Kling AI, using keyframe interpolation. The result is a constrained visualization, not a simulation. That distinction must be communicated to every audience that sees it. 9. Hallucinated heritage. A bone crushed by diagenesis does not have bilateral symmetry. A generative model will give it one anyway. The most insidious failure is not fabrication. It is subtle, convincing bias. Photorealistic quality implies certainty, and non-specialist audiences have no means to detect that the certainty is constructed. 10. LDE protocol. The response is not to avoid generative tools. It is to use them transparently. The LDE protocol. Label every output with its epistemological status, record, representation, or hypothesis. Document prompts, hard constraints, and soft interpretations, and publish them alongside the output. Make education part of the process. Showing how the image was made is as important as showing the image. 3 things to take from this talk. The question, record, representation, or hypothesis, is not optional. It is the minimum condition for responsible use of these tools. Hallucinated heritage is a present risk in content already being produced and circulated. And our role is shifting from guardians of the rock to authenticators of reality, tracing and making visible the distance between evidence and image.